and welcome all. This is the second part of my interview with humanities scientist and NDE researcher, Maureen Venselaar. It's about her new and non-dualist quantum theory of the near-death experience based on 10 years of field research and literature study. Core statement of her NDE theory is as follows. We are stardust and part of the universe and subject to all laws of nature and life, near death and afterlife. Life and consciousness are gradual in space and time. Starting point of her NDE theory is the proven extra emission of light energy out of the body near death. As a sole founder of this theory, she has intellectual rights since 2006 and copyrights since 2011. The most significant conclusions related to her theory based on physics and astrophysics on the laws of nature are: 1. That there is a shift of life and consciousness from connected to the body to outside the body. 2. That space and time is a non-dualistic reality and become more relative as the NDE continues and is more profound. 3. The NDE is a sneak peek of afterlife, which will unfold for all of us. Venselaar describes a theoretical complete NDE in 5 phases. The onset of the out-of-body experience with a body of light. 2. A journey through a tunnel, through a vast, cold, dark space. 3. Being in the presence of a most loving, beautiful light. 4. The journey back. 5. Re-entering the physical body. The first interview was about phase 1 and 2. You can listen to this on my Deniz Erten YouTube channel. Venselaar explains the onset of the NDE and the start of the out-of-body experience via the proven extraordinary emission of photons near death. Photons are quanta of light, and according to Venselaar, these photons form a body of light as empirical evidence of NDEs, near-death experiencers, confirm. Near-death experiencers are convinced that they left their body with some kind of body of light or energy, light energy. Moreover, other empirical evidence seem to confirm the specific experience of NDEs. There are testimonies of family and medical teams who have seen emissions of light coming out of the bodies of patients or loved ones near death. Venselaar refers to several researchers who have documented these testimonies. For example, Krukol, Alvarado, Wills Brandon, Bolzano, and Barrett. The second phase, gaining distance from the physical body, a journey through a vast, cold, dark place, the tunnel experience. The extreme speed explains Venselaar via a concrete journey as beings of light through the universe, which is very cold, dark, and vast. But she has also emphasized that there are beautiful colors and all kinds of sounds, as NASA time and again shows. Moreover, she explains the tunnel experience by black holes and wormholes. It is so unique that Venselaar's NDE theory is about a real journey and that she explains the NDE via physics of the body, near death, and astrophysics. Today, we will talk about the third phase of Venselaar's NDE theory, being in the presence of a heavenly light near a border. So, Maureen, welcome back again. And tell us about this third phase after the tunnel experience. What is it about?
Well, I will tell you, but first, thank you for being your guest again, and to have this second interview with you about, indeed, the third phase, being in the light. Well, it's always wonderful to talk about the near-death experience and about life consciousness related to the afterlife. And you had a beautiful introduction. Thank you for that. And The third phase is, as you know, very beautiful and very amazing, and I think the most impressive part of the near-death experience. I'll give a summary to introduce to the listeners. Well, after the onset of the near-death experience with this body of light, and he's experienced indeed this amazing journey to beautiful light. Now, we all know that neurological and physiological circumstances, like, for instance, cardiac arrest and coma, can trigger the out-of-body experience and the near-death experience. But, well, you know, the neurophysiological theory can't explain all features of the near-death experience, especially, to my opinion, not in a coherent way. And one of these features is this beautiful light. And it's not only about a beautiful light, it's also including all characteristics like unconditional love and this information download. And I think it's really unscientific to disregard this. And well, although the light is also about a heavenly realm, oneness, and about a supreme love, the supernatural explanation also failed to explain, to my opinion, just based on some kind of universal consciousness, this light. And this universal consciousness is, by the way, not considered to be confined or localized to specific points in space and time. Brain is just a receiver of consciousness. So both theories, to my opinion, fail to explain all details of this light. And moreover, accepting all empirical evidence, all data, all features, and to avoid confirmation bias, I think it's abundantly clear that the near-death experience and this amazing light have to be explained via astrophysics. And it's indeed about a shift of life, of consciousness from connected to the body to outside the body via, it's almost unbelievable, but via a real journey. And sometimes you can hear some quotes that it's really about this universe, and space and time does indeed get, more relative. To underline that it's evident that the near-death experience and the feature being in the light have to be explained by astrophysics, I've sent you some concrete quotes about this journey to the light. All quotes are from the website of the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation by Dr. Long. So, Denise, would you mind reading the quotes of Mary Beth, Bonnie, and Frederick?
With pleasure and excitement. The quotes of Mary Beth. Yeah. The next thing I knew, I was out of my body. Then I flew through the ceiling up into the sky. I went up until I was in space. There were stars all around. The quotes of Bonnie. I went to the Pleiades and Orion belts. Over there, I said, please stay in the Milky Way. But we didn't stay there. We went to see the perimeter of the universe. God. Quotes of Frederick. Compared with this light, the sun looks like a weak electrical light bulb. This light was loving me with unconditional love. Well, beautiful quotes of concrete and the ears. And this journey to this light, you must know this is the most spectacular part of the near-death experience it needs. And the light at the end of the tunnel is, according to Andy Ears, amongst other, so warm, so peaceful, and moreover, my words, the source of all that is, and all the energy of the cosmos, and indeed unconditional love. And in the light, several things happens, and you just have a live review or live prospect, live overview, and even meet so-called deceased loved ones who are still alive.
And communication seems to be via some kind of telepathy. And there is also notice that this light after this tunnel experience is also consciousness and omniscience. And the years experience at that moment an amazing information download and are fully enlightened and illuminated. So you must imagine, you can imagine, it really feels like heaven. And it ain't hard to grasp that NDEs don't want to leave this beautiful place. And it's also a place where the arrow of time even seems to stop. But you know, whether NDEs like it or not, the light is also a point of no return. And passing this specific point means, they know it for sure, the end of life on Earth. However, although some NDEs tell they want to stay, they do return in the end. I have one quote for myself to read. It's about Jingming. I have it over here. Oh, now here. Do it right. Jingming from China. I felt I was floating up in the air. It seemed like I was engulfed and flying in a black hole. Finally, there were galaxies and unknown stars. But very sudden, I felt a heavy pull downward back to the black hole prior. I was like a meteor in full speed moving towards the ground. So I think these kind of details are amazing. But you know, before checking out and the return, some NDEs also notice that this cosmic heavenly bright place, this point of no return, is also part of a huge structure. And it shapes like an astronomical large hourglass or diabolo. So Denise, where to begin to explain this third phase?
Oh, amazing and dazzling. So many details. Shall we begin with the comprehensive insights and the information download?
Yeah, okay, that's fine by me. Well, after this tunnel experience and in the light, I must emphasize in the light, NDEs gain, as said, comprehensive insights about their life itself, about all questions of mankind, and even, as I say, the origin of all that is. So this light is, according to NDEs, besides love and the source of all that is, without a doubt, intelligent and consciousness and omniscience. And it's so overwhelming. Again, Denise, would you mind to read some quotes? It's of Christopher and of Copy.
Love to. Here are the quotes about the omniscient knowledge, the information download. Christopher, it was as if I was receiving all the knowledge of the universe. Copy, I was in a beautiful light. I could ask everything. I got answers that were healing to my soul.
Well, thank you, Denise. You tell them quite beautiful. Thank you. So, and the tell it was like an information download. Some others tell about some kind of school. It's like a cosmic university. And the interesting thing is, some tell specifically that the information download came towards them along with the flow of light. And this is a remarkable detail. Being in the light and in the source of all that is meant being in this omniscient knowledge and knowing all the answers to the questions of humanity. Now, needless to say, Denise, omniscience is, of course, one of the names of God in worldviews like Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But besides this, and regarding scientific framework, theoretical physicist Kaku is convinced that the cosmos is shaped by a universal intelligence. How about that? And for instance, theoretical physicist Verlinde state that information is a fundamental building block of the universe. And moreover, in addition, as I told you in the first interview, derived from experiments like the experiment by Dr. Howell, it's quite possible that photons, the photons of this omniscience light, as described in the years, can also store and process information. It's a theory, but who knows? The universe is one way or another, maybe some kind of intelligence or information. So based on worldviews, God is omniscience, and findings of scientists like Verlinde, who say information is a fundamental building block of the universe, the information download isn't that surprising. But that said, in the end, some people have had, for instance, a cardiac arrest, don't remember anything at all, or just a few details. So how come? Why is that? Well, this is of course another riddle to solve, but maybe it's a simple one, because if being in the light means an information download, then perhaps being out of the light means probably the end of an information download and an end to this omniscient knowledge. However, and you must be familiar with this myth, the myth of soldier air, as described by Plato. Maybe this myth reveals a more poetic answer. The story is about a man named Air. He dies on a battlefield, and his body was already brought to a pyre. But remarkably, Air revives in time and tells others of his journey to the afterlife. And well, of course, it was amazing. And he described this unearthly realm, and he saw souls passing by into this beautiful light. And according to Air, say to Plato, this light was the belt of heaven and holded the cyclus of the universe. And there were also 7 inner worlds, true, as I remember, and the 8th world was the outermost and was pierced by a spindle right through the center. But, and listen to this, Air also saw a plane of oblivion, including this river of forgetfulness. And according to Air, according to Plato, all souls were required to drink some of this water of forgetfulness in varying quantities. And drinking this water seemed to block the ability to remember. Well, the story doesn't exactly tell why they have to drink this water, but maybe because of the fact that all these insights about life, afterlife, the origin of all that is too comprehensive and too much for all humans to understand at once. One way or another, souls had to drink this water to forget some of it or everything. You had to drink it in varying quantities. But Air was dismissed, and he was appointed to tell the world about his extraordinary experience. So he did at the moment he revived. So could this myth of Air be another more poetic explanation why some entities remember hardly anything at all and others remember all kinds of insights? I can't tell, but maybe. But well, I think that the most beautiful thing is, Denise, that engineers are a little bit like soldier Air. They remember at least a part of their sneak peek of afterlife. And they tell us about it. And that this heavenly light is omniscience. Besides, of course, that this light is also pure love and specific, the source of all that is, and really also the nature of reality. I elaborate on this topic later on. It will be a perfect end for an interview. So maybe NDEs are a little bit like salty air. And do remember the NDE or parts of the NDE. So that about omniscience knowledge. What would you like to know next?
Oh, Maureen, interviews with you are really, I mean, for me, it's something else. Seriously. I think you're a great soul, and all that you are working on for humanity is so meaningful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, thank you. Likewise, to get this opportunity.
Oh, always. It's a pleasure, and I really am like dying to learn more about this, because it is amazing. Each and every one of us will go through this one day or another day, and our loved ones are going through this. They either die or near-death experience. So it's so important, because everybody will die, and that is where equality is. Everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Yeah. So I get so touched. It's hard for me to like go on with the interview like that, because you say so much in your words.
I hope so.
So you mentioned that in the light there is also an encounter with deceased loved ones.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how to explain this?
Well, that's a difficult question. The encounter with the deceased loved ones, this interconnectedness is, above all, of course, very wonderful and depressing and very touching, very moving. You know, seeing your deceased loved ones back again, and they aren't sick anymore, they aren't nothing, they are just perfect, they are just fine. And he is described, moreover, some kind of telepathy, mind-to-mind communication, and above all, yeah, this sublime interconnectedness. Again, would you mind reading some quotes I've sent you the quote of Harry and Randall.
Sure, right away. The quotes of Harry: "The bits of light closest to me were my parents and grandparents. Family who all passed before, and connected to them further away were close friends." Quotes of Randall: "In this light, I felt the presence of my deceased mother. I felt so much peace and comfort that I was reaching with both arms for her to take me into the light."
Yeah, one cannot imagine that these encounters are really true. It's hard to believe, but they describe these features and these encounters worldwide. So, yeah, I think they are true, and that would be so wonderful, the re-encounter with our deceased loved ones. It would be so moving. But the fact is how to explain. As I said before, it's very difficult to say, and you know, one thing is for sure, there are unbelievable phenomena in the universe, like non-locality or entanglement. And you know, Einstein even talked about spooky interactions at the distance. But you know, astronomers can't explain everything, and me neither. And the thing is, I have to reflect on these kind of phenomena in the universe, related to the universe. So what would be the case? What I thought about it a long time. Well, according to me, the experience of this everlasting bond of love, this entanglement over time, this interconnectedness, and also the interaction between the NDEer and the deceased ones could also be explained, maybe in addition, due to the spherical outer boundary of, listen to this, black holes. Well, this theory is a little bit out of the box, probably, but nevertheless, why this assumption? Well, it's a fact that astronomers and NDEers seem to describe the same phenomena in the universe. And I presume it's about the black hole. their descriptions partially overlap. Of course, it's about the universe, and it's a point of no return, and time and relative time is relative and even stops. And it's also about a very bright spherical boundary. So specific details, and if you want to match them, yeah, I think it's probably for sure a boundary of a black hole. Based on such exquisite overlap of descriptions and, applying Occam's razor and to reduce levels of bias as much as possible, this point of no return is, according to me, without a doubt, a spherical boundary of a black hole. But apart from this overlap of description, I also argue that NDEs are, at this point during their near-death experience, are near a black hole because astrophysicists and physicists, like for instance Calmet, professor of the University of Sussex, debate about what happens to information that falls into a black hole. And the prediction is, they don't agree all. The prediction is information isn't lost. And information about what fell into a black hole can always be recovered according to Calmet. So why could this be important for the near-death experience, to explain the near-death experience? Well, as I told in the first part of our interview, remember the death flash. And you testify that they were still the same during the NDE. They went out of the body with this body of light, with this body of light energy. Nevertheless, they were still the same. And with the same bodily features, with the same memories or characteristics of their own. And so there seemed to have been a transfer of personal information from the physical body to this body of light. Light are quanta. So could it be possible that this quantum information of the light body of deceased loved ones is also not lost? Just like Calmet told about information that falls in a black hole and that it can always be recovered. Well, as said before, I really don't know, but maybe. But if that's the case, we must think about this specific black hole. Where is it? Where is this portal to another realm? This point of no return. Well, now, according to me, it's part of this huge hourglass structure some NDEs report. I will tell later on more about this structure, and I think you will be also amazed, just like I was in the time of my theory and study. Well, but the encounter with the deceased loved one, whether it's due to information related to black holes or those spooky unknown phenomena in the universe, the most important thing to know is, Denise, that based on empirical evidence worldwide, it's beyond, to my opinion, it's beyond reasonable doubt that loved ones stay interconnected forever. And typical for this encounter is love, understanding, and even forgiveness. So you could say that these timeless mutual bonds are the most long-distance relationships ever. And well, this way NDEs confirm, to my opinion, old wisdom about afterlife as revealed by religions and ancient cultures for ages. Death is just an illusion, and love conquers death. And our death is like a ticket for the afterlife. And this insight, besides the commonly loss of fear of death, as reported by, for instance, Dr. Moody and Dr. Ring, can set our mind at ease, and it is comforting and a wonderful consolation for all of us if we already have lost loved ones. Don't you think, Denise?
Yes, definitely. And you know, Maureen, you have reminded me of something. When my grandmother was in the hospital in the intensive care unit, one day we took her to the palliative, and my mother stepped in the room, and she heard her talking to her family who has passed away. She said, "Now you go, I will come later."
So
and she,
that's amazing. Well, my father and me have quite similar experience related to someone who is already dead or is near death. So I think you know, in my lectures I always say that if just one of all those NDEers worldwide tell the truth about afterlife, it's really a fact of life.
yes,
And
that
of course,
life has
you know, all NDEs are truthful. So, but
Sure.
you know what I'm saying.
Sure, definitely. And you know, the word pass away now came to me. It's like you pass through this tunnel. So you're passing. They say when somebody dies, he passed away to like another dimension through a tunnel. Like, and the creator is so gentle so that he makes it easier for you to pass, because he lets your deceased ones, the loved ones, see you and make it easy for you.
Right.
Oh, it's amazing. So, Maureen, this great interview, I would like to go on with our third question. For sure, knowing that love conquers death and that we will encounter our deceased loved ones one day is a beautiful, comforting insight. However, NDEers don't die irreversible. They don't pass the door to heaven. How come? What is to tell?
Well, according to NDEs, they are indeed near some kind of point of no return, passage to heaven. And for instance, NDE researchers Dr. Creighton and Dr. Stevenson listed in, I thought, 1980 that 57% of all NDEs involved reported a point of no return. Well, let's hear first some quotes to introduce the listeners to what I'm saying.
Sure.
Would you mind reading the near-death experience of Joseph and Catherine, please?
Yes, I would love to. Quotes of Joseph. In my mind, I had a choice to stay here and enter the energy, knowing there could be no return. If I did, I could also return and raise my kids. The very instant I decided I wanted to go, I was back in my body. The quotes of Catherine. A being of authority said, "You are not supposed to be here yet. You will come back again. But for now, you cannot stay. You must breathe and you must wake up." Oh.
Well, I think it's astonishing, these kind of details.
Really?
But
this is a near-death experience right now I'm having here, Maureen.
Yeah, you can't imagine such kind of truth. You know, it's really unbelievable and hard to grasp. But well, let's say this point of no return, to my opinion, it's not just spiritual or emotional. I think it's quite concrete, and it's about continuing the journey through this pathway to this point of passing this point of no return, or returning to the physical body. And you know for sure, you know, that's beyond reasonable doubt. People who are irreversible dead, you know, also saw deceased loved ones or deceased people passing by. people who are irreversible dead, or as they say themselves, who are let me remind, whose silver cord is broken, or whose tunnel is closed, do cross over this point of no return and do enter this other heavenly realm. But the tunnel of and the ears and stays open, and the cord, the silver cord, stay intact. And some even tell that they went back through the same tunnel they came from. And others tell, as I said, the string or the cord of energy was still there and was a real connection between the light body and the physical body. Again, so many details. And I remember the near-death experience of McLean. She told that the cord was very elastic and endlessly long, and that she had wondered during the near-death experience how far she could go before this cord would break, because the cord was, as she remembered, non-stop attached to her body. So, and years can't cross over, and they are one way or another way, they are really stuck. So how is that possible? How is that possible? Well, of course, it's again a theory, but well, first, it's above all very likely that on the one hand, the return of NDEs has something to do with the recuperation of the physical body due to, for instance, life support and CPR. At that moment, the life energy flows back and the proven death flash is probably stopped or interrupted. In such circumstances, it's quite possible that NDEs are forced to go back to their physical body. On the other hand, if we want to explain this holdup by astrophysics, this point of no return is, as said before, probably a border of a black hole. And I've told before, descriptions do overlap, descriptions of NDEs and by astronomers. And to my opinion, this way science and empirical evidence come together. And scientists like theoretical physicist, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but theoretical physicist Loeb, I don't know for sure. I will make sure that the translation is quite correct. He's chair of astronomy at Harvard University. He emphasized once you get in a black hole, you can't come out and return. So it's really a point of no return. They use the same words, NDEs and astronomers. And I presume that NDEs deal with such a black hole. And to my opinion, these black holes seem to be also part of this inconceivably large cosmic hourglass structure, as described in unique empirical data. Again, more about that later on. Now, the strange thing is about this point of no return. Some NDEs seem to be able to choose whether they pass this point of no return or not. And this choosing process is, of course, all about the purpose of life and unfinished business. But that said, it's my theory is probably getting stranger and weirder for everyone, but nevertheless, it's concrete data. My research also reveals that in some cases, there is really a choosing process, and this choosing process involves some kind of blue beam of light and red beam of light. 8-year-old Michelle described such event. And seeing red, yeah?
Like the Matrix, red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the movie The Matrix a little bit chaotic, but nevertheless, yeah, I know what you mean. Well, And you just know without a doubt, during seeing this red and blue beam, that the blue beam, listen to this, is really crucial for their return to the physical body. Sometimes they describe it as blue, green, you know, something like that. And the other thing is that the red beam, they also know for sure that the red beam is the irreversible kickoff for their eternal life. Well, what a details, huh? And of course, this feature puzzled me for a while, especially because the description seems to be contradictory. But, you know, based on my theory via physics, and also based on the scientific principle of Occam's razor, these red and blue beams must be phenomena in the universe. And you probably already know what I'm going to tell, but you know, I think this NDE feature could be explained by the Doppler effect. The Doppler effect is, as you know, an effect to figure out if something in space, like a star, is approaching us or is receding from us. In case of a redshift, red light, something recedes, and in case of blue shift and blue light, something approaches. So I asked myself, could it be possible that NDEs detect such an effect? Well, based on relevant data, I think it's quite possible. And why do I presume this? First of all, NDEs are in space, and they do have some kind of field of vision. Remember the near-death experience of Jung. He saw, well, I took a small Earth. He just saw this part of the Earth from India to the Mediterranean, and he didn't saw this part of the universe. So they and others describe the same thing. They seem to have some kind of field of vision. And moreover, and he describe also that the sparkles of light, the beam of light, came towards them. And well, the next step is that I presume that the beams of blue light are a permanent stream of photons coming out of the source of all that is straight to the NDEs and into the universe. And likewise, I presume that the beams of red light are moving away from the NDEs straight forward into the light, and therefore through this portal beyond the point of no return into the other heavenly realm. So choosing the red beam of light could have the consequence of going along with it into the light. However, NDEs choose the blue, sometimes green light, and I know sometimes they are forced to. And before they know it, they return with, again, a dazzling speed, and sometimes they even describe again through a tunnel to Earth and to the physical body. Well, but you know, it's just an assumption to explain the red and blue beams by the Doppler effect. That said, a renowned psychiatrist and NDE researcher, Grayson, who've read the first concept of my NDE theory, stated that, and it's almost a quote, that the explanation of the blue and red colors towards the end of the near-death experience in terms of Doppler effect is very clever. Voila. So that's a great compliment, huh? So
we did have an interview with Bruce Grayson.
I know you have interviewed him. Yeah, I know.
And the Doppler effect idea, I think, is very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. It's great, mashallah.
Thank you. So I have another compliment of you. Thank you. I don't deserve it, and he deserve it, I think. So, well, you know, who knows? It's about the Doppler effect, but if so, if these beams can be explained by the Doppler effect, it became more clear to me that the near-death experience can be explained by physics and astrophysics. So, well, it's really my theory. We are part of the universe and subject to all laws of nature in life, near death, and afterlife. And life and consciousness are really gradual in space and time. There is a shift from connected to the body to outside the body. So, well, that's all about the point of no return and the choosing process to stay or to leave the heavenly realm, Denise.
To stay or to leave? That is the biggest question.
Well, for now, I stay in the interview. It's nice. And I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you know, everything makes sense from the perspective of science when you are talking like that. The black holes, the event horizon, how time dilates, kind of stops, that tunnel, everything makes so much sense. So then let's go on to the fourth question. The choosing process, the return to the physical body, the one-way ticket to the afterlife, beyond the point of no return. It is all very intriguing, but related to your NDE theory, based on astrophysics, the other heavenly realm should also be part of the cosmos, total cosmos. So, Maureen, if that is a ticket to heaven, where is heaven? What's beyond the point of no return? Amazing.
Well, I said before, to my opinion, this point of no return, this doorway to heaven, is really part of this huge structure and is indeed the point of no return of a black hole. And it's I will tell later, it's part of this enormous structure some entities detect in the light. And according to them, it is really immense. It's huge. It's about the universe, and it's related to the total of all that is. So that's in short.
You know,
short
you know, Maureen, I would like to say something here. With my students right now, I'm working on the afterlife, the heavens and hells, and where they are, and we are trying to draw this picture where, because according to Quran and the Hadith, what our Prophet has told us all about, we know where the heavens are.
And where are they? And where are they? I don't need to answer the question.
Yeah, it's very interesting because they're like other galaxies where these where the people go according to the level of consciousness they have, and how you go to that part is through a black hole, and then you go through the wormhole, and then you come out in this place. But it's according to your consciousness, how fast you go through that wormhole. If you have big egos, or if you're not good at heart, then you have to go through a lot of refinements, you know.
Yeah, that's correct. I remember indeed such kind of NDE stories. That's correct. It took some time to be in the light and to go to the light. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm going to share with you after our interview those pictures. Maybe that will give you other ideas about your amazing scientific theory.
That will be kind. Thank you in advance.
Yeah, of course, I would love to. So let's go on to our fifth question. I mean, I'm not now getting unhappy that the interview is going to end. So so amazing, because I'm learning so much from it. Tell us about this hourglass structure.
Well, you must know, I define and explain this feature as far as I could check it out for the first time ever. So far, no one did, and other NDE researchers in the scientific community neither did. But unique, significant empirical data shows that NDErs describe really in detail this hourglass structure. And as I said before, it is about the universe and incomprehensible large. And furthermore, they tell that it's some described it not like an hourglass structure, but for instance, like an immense butterfly, or a huge diabolo, or two giant spirals, or vortices, cyclones, or tornadoes. So many details, different words. Other details are, as I remember, I know it for sure, one of the spirals turns clockwise and the other counterclockwise, and one has a flow inward and the other had a flow outward. And they also, there are rare descriptions of this structure, but they also describe that the two spirals, the two tornadoes, are really connected where they are the narrowest. Phyllis Atwater, an outstanding ambassador of NDErs and the International Associations for Near-Death Studies, she described some of these features. She described the two cyclones, both spinning in opposite directions, and the hourglass shape. And she ain't the only one, others do also describe these kind of features. For example, NDEr Hennigan.
Then our next question comes. What more do you know about this huge butterfly shape or hourglass shape?
Well, Denise, we first have to accept that all these exceptional testimonies of NDErs are also true and authentic. Of course, as mentioned before, there are many of these reports, but details are indeed very specific, just like I described just a minute ago. And unlike other NDE researchers, like, for instance, Mastering Cardiology van Lommel, I did look into these unusual descriptions, and I did take them seriously. Just like, other features having some kind of light body, the silver cord, and the connection between the disembodied entity and the physical body. However, I must say and emphasize, most NDE researchers don't notice these exceptional descriptions, or they ignore them. And it doesn't matter whether they endorse the supernatural or the neurological explanation. So in my research and theory, I did acknowledge all these details and unusual features. Again, to prevent, of course, bias and the loss also of validity. And, well, the other thing, to improve our understanding of the near-death experience and likewise of reality and humanity. What is human nature? Well, that said, how to explain this immense hourglass structure and these two turning spirals, these two turning cyclones, or as you said, vortices. How to explain this related to the universe and the total of reality? Well, my assumption is that the observed hourglass, as described by NDErs in the light near this spherical point of no return, and in the universe, in the vastness of our universe, can be linked to a cosmological model of two universes. This idea ain't new. Hinduism as well as Islam have a cosmological concept of two universes. And Hinduism even described it in detail. Let me think for a moment. Oh yeah, the other universe is made out of subtle vibrations of light and is also, strange enough, lightweight. So old wisdom, but nowadays the idea of a multiverse is really, as a matter of speak, trendy. And even NASA has a cosmological model based on two universes. It's of course one of the models of the universe and of the cosmos. This cosmological model based on two universes, it's about, of course, our universe, which is based, according to them, on matter, and about another universe, which is probably made and based off antimatter. Both universes are complementary, and such theoretical system of two universes, yeah, you must know, looks, according to the NASA, looks like a hourglass or a diabolo. You know, I've sent you also an artistic impression of such a cosmological model by the NASA in search of an antimatter universe. So, you know, imagine another second universe. Ours is already so infinitely large. It's, you know, you can't, yeah, you can't grasp it. It's confusing, and it's really beyond comprehension. But you know, a well-known astrophysicist, DeGrasse Tyson, he's really famous, and he has his own documentary on YouTube and you know, even on television. And theoretical physicist Dr. Kaku are also convinced that there could be another universe, and that would be a twin universe, and probably it's made out of antimatter. And listen to this, even now, yeah, Kaku underlined that even if charge and the parity and the march of time is reversed about this other universe would still obey all laws of physics. And something else to it, you probably know that such an opponent universe reflects also the Hermetic principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has opposites, but the opposites are identical in nature. So opposites meet, a spin clockwise, a spin counterclockwise, a flow inward, a flow outward, just as Andy Years testified.
Amazing.
Well, there's more to it about this cosmic butterfly. I presume that both universes could be a part of a multi-dimensional space-time continuum, like a donut-shaped trajectory system, including an outside flow, a flow on the surface. And inside there are the both vortices, the both tornadoes of the both universes. And the attractor torus is such a system. And the amazing thing is that this theoretical trajectory system, including, as said, the two universes, seem to match with even more Hermetic principles, like everything flows out and in, come into existence and end, rise and fall. And the other Hermetic principle, nothing rests, everything is on the move. So, you know, basically, according to, or based on my cosmological model, there wasn't a single moment of creation, like the Big Bang, like something out of nothing. I think expansion is just an illusion. And some pioneers in physics and cosmology are also convinced of this. For instance, theoretical physicist Lombrizer, based on the cosmological constant, and for instance, cosmologist Tsagas, and that's based on the location of our corner of the universe relative to the other parts of the universe. So I'm not the only one who thinks that there isn't a Big Bang and everything is on the move, maybe. Now, someone else about this trajectory system and this spinning universes, because these universes seem to be interconnected. Again, why? Well, as I said before, there are concrete testimonies of NDEs. They simply tell us that they are connected. So that the tornadoes are connected. So we don't need to guess to answer this question. The two tornadoes, cyclones, are connected, and they are connected where they are the narrowest, and those are concrete descriptions. So they are connected, and on the one hand, theoretical physicists like, for instance, Natarajan and Poplavsky do also presume that universes can be interconnected by, and this is also what I presume, by a wormhole. And I think you mentioned it before, and I think that our universe and an opponent universe of antimatter exchange all kinds of primordial building blocks, just like an ongoing Big Bang, via such an inter-universe wormhole, a connection between those two universes. And the entrance of this wormhole, that could be formed by a black hole. The entrance of a wormhole is in theory formed by a black hole, and coming out is formed by coming out is a little bit strange to say, but the end of the wormhole is a white hole, say. So this wormhole and this black hole is really impressive and are really huge. And the beginning of this wormhole is, as I presume, a black hole, and this is again a point of no return. And to my opinion, this point, this border, this entrance, is where NDEs are located at the moment of their near-death experience. It's almost hard to believe, but maybe you remember from our first interview that NDEs describe going faster than the speed of light and bridging distances one cannot express in light years. So, to my opinion, they are really at this point near this border of this wormhole, this passage via the wormhole to this other universe. I have a concrete quote for myself, so I will read it. Kevin told, the power of a black hole is needed for a soul to travel from one universe to another. I noticed that I was falling towards a fissure, and before I could react, I was engulfed by a brilliant white light. And another NDEer who wants to be anonymous said, at that point, I saw and there was all the energy of the universe. So all the energy of the universe, and really about experiencing the universe itself with stars and galaxies and even the Milky Way and so on, light speed. Unprecedented, unique data, and I think it's mind-blowing. But I think it all makes sense if we accept that we humans are and stay part of this universe in life and afterlife. According to me, there's nothing else to it. It's so simple, so obvious. So, that's about the hourglass structure and the two universe, ours and this opponent. And I think it's quite possible that they are interconnected by a wormhole, and that the passage is a passage to another realm of love and light, say heaven. And I think together, both universes form the inner core and the spine of this space-time continuum, the torus attractor. And of course, I will send you footage to show the listeners. So,
yeah, before I step to the torus attractor and more details on it, all these things, of course, while I'm listening to you, because I am very interested in astrophysics, cosmology, and also reading Quran with it is like, oh my God, so this verse means this, because it is talking about everything, right? Until now, there is not one single thing that I have not read in Quran. Now have combined it with the verses. So and the antimatter issue is now very logical to me, because what the scientists like yourself say. In the beginning of the universe, antimatter and matter was equal. However, matter weighed more, so the antimatter must have been, it has gone to the next dimension with that twin of the universe. So that's how it is equalized, is something like that. It's even, and it makes so much sense. So let's go ahead with our questions. What else could support your theory of the torus attractor as a cosmological model based on testimonies of NDErs?
Well, that's a nice question. Basically, two other things, Denise. And the first one is old wisdom of the Tao. And the second one is, strange enough, the shape of a photon. So let's elaborate on the first one, the old wisdom of Tao. As you know, everything is chi energy. However, this chi energy is, as you know, made up of opponents. There's yang chi and yin chi as I say, in everything. And although yin chi and yang chi are opponents, they are in fact, again, identical in nature and complementary. And yin yang also reflect the Hermetic principle of polarity. Moreover, they both chis form, as you know, the total of reality in some kind of constant flow, and they blend into one perfect, seamless whole, as embodied by the swirling yin-yang symbol. You probably know it for sure, and the listeners too. Well, concerning the NDE, this yin-yang symbol in 3 dimensions, it's my theory, quite matches the torus attractor and might reflect the total of reality, including in the core 2 systems of the opponent universes. Again, I will send you footage. So I think it's the torus attractor looks quite the same as the symbol of yin yang. Now, the second thing that could support my cosmological model of the torus is, as said, weird enough, one of the smallest things, the photon, the quantum of light. So why? Well, I discovered that the torus attractor and the symbol of yin yang could reflect the very essence on cosmological scale at first, but also the very essence of a fundamental building block on quantum scale, namely the photon. So again, the torus attractor and the yin-yang reflects, to my opinion, the essence on cosmological scale and quantum scale. A beautiful artistic impression of a photon I found on the internet is made by Henderson in cooperation with the Department of Physics of the University of Michigan. Again, I will send it. So I think there's a wonderful resemblance, as you can see later on. But you know, there is. I think there's something else to it. The similarity between the cosmos as a whole and on quantum scale photons, both in theory torus attractors, matches another hermetic principle, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. So below. If this is the case, there is a striking similarity between the macrocosmos and the microcosmos. So could these findings be true, Denise? And thus, do NDEs reveal something like the theory of everything? Who knows? But you know, one thing is for sure, some NDEs tell that the theory of everything is plain simple. So how about that?
Yesterday we talked about this with my team.
Oh.
I believe that it's very, very simple, and it's all about consciousness.
Exactly what you say. Yeah. Also, as I said in the first questions and answers. Yeah.
Yes, it's all about consciousness. The torus shape is like a ring, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will show you some footage to show to the listeners. Then it's much easier to understand.
The reason is it's like a donut. That's how
they also call it the donut shape. Yeah.
The reason I asked this is Prophet Muhammad والسلام, says that there are 7 layers of the universe at least, and he says each one is like a ring thrown into a desert. So the next one, the upper level of the universe, is like a desert, and the lower one is like a ring in a desert. So but the shape is a ring, and he says it's so big, like these layers are bigger, and they're like rings. So that's why it caught my attention, because I wrote about it as a torus attractor too, and this is so amazing. Seriously.
It's quite similar to the descriptions given by Plato about
Plato too. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I love him, and I read about him so much.
It's a beautiful story of a near-death experience. Yeah.
Yes, he's something else. So you match the insights given to NDers about this hourglass model they see with scientific ideas about this universe, and an opponent universe of antimatter based on one of the cosmological models of NASA. 2, and with a multiverse with the structure of the continuum torus attractor. 3, and also with beliefs in Hinduism and Islam. 4, and with the Tao, including an updated and 3D symbol of yin and yang. 5, and last but not least, based on the hermetic principle of correspondence with an artistic impression of a photon made by Henderson in cooperation with the Department of Physics of the University of Michigan.
Right.
If this cosmological model is the big picture of our reality, what is the essence of it? Just quanta like photons?
Well, that's again a very good question. As said in the first part of our interview, physicists do underline that everything is created by light, and that matter, the matter of our body and everything else, is a specific kind of light, frozen light. So therefore, as I said, our physical body is also right here, right now, some kind of frozen light. I can't explain it, I just quote them, And based on empirical data of NDEs, light is also the essence of our afterlife body. So for that reason, I argue that afterlife is just a transformation of ourselves as beings of light. But as you said, are we just some type of light during our life and afterlife? Is there nothing more to it? Is the total of reality just a light show, illusion, like yoga teacher Selby once put it? Is our reality nothing more than quanta, atoms, molecules, and laws of nature? Well, a simple answer of and ears, no. It's not like that. It's above all about love, Denise. That's really the essence.
Oh, love and compassion, and
Yeah.
that in the movie Interstellar, when the
Oh, I
father,
haven't seen it. Oh yeah, is it quite the same?
yes, in the
Oh,
Interstellar, he's like behind this
oh,
library, and he's trying
oh,
to reach his daughter. However,
oh,
they're on different dimensions. So he's talking to her from the future, but
mm,
for him, time has not passed too much. For her, like 25 to 30 years have passed, so she got
yeah, yeah,
old.
yeah.
But he's still so young. And now he sent her a message, and now he's trying to go from this dimension to her dimension, but he can't. And he said, there was a, replic, there was a line. He says, only by love we can pass through this dimension.
Look at
Yeah.
that, beautiful.
It's
But I
beautiful.
also remember the twin paradox. You must look it up if you don't know it. It's also about relativity of time. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So now, how do you explain that the first light, the fundamental nature of reality, is according to Andy Ayers, in fact, love? How do you explain this?
Well, that is, I think, the most important question. What we know and learn about the near-death experience, and I'll try. I try to explain this in small steps. And you must know, I emphasize it again. It's just a hypothesis. Well, first, according to astronomers, the first light is indeed a fundamental part of the origin of our universe. And and you also describe the light after the tunnel as the source of all that is, and as all the energy of the cosmos. So this is the first step, which overlap. Both describe the light as origin of our universe. But the thing is that NDUs are also unanimous that this light is also, as you said, unconditional love. I sent you, as I remember, also some quotes about this. It's of Diana and Deborah. Would you mind reading those quotes, Denise?
I would love to read those quotes of Diana first.
Yeah.
The light had the most amazing, pure love with warmth to it. And quotes of Deborah. The light was beyond what anyone could comprehend. The light was everything. The best way I can describe it is love in all its purity.
Yeah. Well, every time I hear or listen those or read those descriptions, I'm really moved. They are so beautiful. But the question is how to explain, and can we explain it? It would be easy if astronomers would say that this first light is also love, but they don't say that. But so we have to think it and figure it out by ourselves. So how could it be, and why is this light this origin of all that is, according, of course, to NDEers, also love? Well, the second step to explain this experience is as follows. I presume that the experience that light is love can be underpinned or explained by the golden ratio number. And golden ratio, mind this word, the golden ratio spirals. Spirals, vortexes, and so on. Huh? Check out the link between the words with and the years. Now, the golden ratio number is best approximated by the famous Fibonacci numbers. The rates of the Fibonacci numbers of the sequence starting point 89 and divided by 55 approach the golden ratio number, and this is 1.618. And you probably know this too. The Greek letter phi denotes the golden ratio number. However, this number ain't just a number. I think it has secret codes. And famous the German famous German astronomer and mathematician Kepler even called this number a beautiful treasure. So, well, what about it? Well, the golden ratio number related to the first single entity, the number 1, form the golden ratio rectangle. And this is also called the divine proportion. Of course, again, I will send you footage. Now, this rectangle can also be a framework of golden ratio spirals. It already rings a bell with the descriptions of and the years. Spirals, 2 huge systems of spirals. And nice to know, the intersection point of geometrical lines is called the eye of God. I will show it. Now, the thing is, as you might know, and as you might guess, the golden ratio spirals in 3 dimensions form a 3-dimensional spiral. And such 3-dimensional spiral, including, listen to this, an opponent spiral, based on the hermetic principle of polarity, gives rise to a beautiful hourglass shape related to the golden ratio. And such structure is quite similar, to my opinion, to this astronomical arts, diabolo, and hourglass structure, or say to vortices, spirals, and these observed at the moment they are in the heavenly light. And remember, this light is, according to NDE, is also the source of all that is. And the amazing thing is, and this is the next step to explain this fact that light is love, the huge structure as seen by NDEers, formed by astronomical light spirals, could be linked to love and creation, provided that the spirals, these vortices, are golden ratio related. This line of thought is derived from the big think of Wiegering. He is a former co-researcher of Dr. Smelakov of the University of Kharkov in Ukraine. And Wiegering combined, and that's very interesting, research of Kleins and de Winter. And scientist Kleins did research on the expression of emotion and the brain function in its electrical manifestations. And the outcome was that different emotional states give rise to different signals. And as you know, electromagnetic fields consist of photons. And the other scientist, de Winter, concluded that only the expression of love is related to the golden ratio. So maybe difficult to follow, but there are small steps, small links to connect light to love. So the conviction of NDEers that this beautiful light made of photons was in fact the same as love could be linked to research on the expression of love, which is related to the golden ratio and golden ratio spirals. Well, that was another step, but the next step is something else. The same scientist, Winter, also states that light waves based on golden ratio, based on the golden ratio and the long phi waves creates matter. Again, you know, this is of course a big thing. This is a theory, but nevertheless, did you know that the golden ratio occurs abundantly in the natural world? I will show you some pictures. You know, according to researcher Braden, even DNA is based on the golden ratio, and you can. It reflects also in some plants how the way plants grow, and one figured also out that the light spectrum of a rainbow, you know, the visible light, is also related to the golden ratio. So maybe the rainbow, as a symbol of the covenant of God with the world, also reflects love. And maybe whole nature reflects in some way love. This big thing may be difficult, but this big thing between, on the one hand, golden ratio spirals and the golden ratio, and on the other hand, love, could be maybe one of the hidden codes of the huge cosmic hourglass structure, including the double spirals, and here see and also observe. So in my theory, it could be possible that the huge structure formed by two spirals, say both universes, is really an expression of love. It's hard to imagine, but and maybe it's difficult to follow this big thing of Wigring, but I think it's maybe an option to explain this link between love and light. If so, it would be so amazing if our universe is really created out of love. This is, of course, an astonishing insight of any years, but you know, it's also old wisdom of worldviews and religion. Well, Denise, I remember a quote, and I will read them to you, and it's of April, and it's just about that. The feeling of love. Huh? Well, April described the feeling of love dominated everything. It was so strong. It was the energy force that everything ran on. Every inch of millions of galaxies was full of the power of love. Oh, and I also wrote another one. Stephanie described, we all are expressions of love energy. It is from which we come and where we are destined to return, so as emerge once again in this original oneness. They tell us so much and years, and again, really mind-blowing. And I think that this magnificent heavenly light after the tunnel experience is really, as Andy just described, the greatest love of all. And this loving light is, according to Andy Years, the precondition, the source, the destination, alpha, omega of all that exists, including ourselves. And these do reveal that the cosmic composition is made of love. Love is omnipresent. And the deepest desire the knees of and the ears is to become one with this greatest love of all that is. So, Denise, to conclude our interview, my quantum theory is of the near-death experience is a little bit maybe shocking, maybe a little bit out of the box, but to my opinion, it tackles persistent scientific problems, and it could answer many existential questions. And maybe for that reason, the Institute of Noetic Sciences concluded that my hypothesis about the near-death experience is intriguing and also a significant updated theory. But some questions still ought to be addressed. However, more research, large quantities of data do not automatically translate into better answers. I think the near-death experience just needs a new explanatory model, and my non-dualistic NDE theory based on physics and astrophysics is, to my opinion, one of the options for a new explanatory model. Well, I could tell you so much more, Denise, but for now, this is it. And remember, just one thing. We are stardust, and we are part of the universe, and subject to all laws of nature in life, near death, and afterlife, whereby consciousness and life are gradual in space and time. And based on NDE's stories, we aren't just stardust, we are creations of love energy. And for one who has taken birth, afterlife is certain, and no one is excluded. And immortality is really our legacy. It's like a noetic knowledge, as told by millions of NDErs who are a little bit like salty air, and it's a gift for all of us to have some kind of consolation and hope, and hopefully also not only to know that we'll see our deceased loved ones, but it's also knowing that the universe is about love. It's also a challenge to change for the better, for ourselves, others, and the whole world. All life and all that is, everything, anyone, is created out of love. And to my opinion, the greatest love of nature is, the greatest law of nature is really love. Love is all, Denise, really, love is all.
A beautiful ending to this great interview. Love is all, Maureen. And thanks so much to you for sharing your insights related to your 5-phase NDE theory based on astrophysics. And regarding to what you said, that your theory could be shocking, I think your theory is the closest one that can be to the real, the theory of everything. As a Sufi,
it's not my theory; it's a theory of near-death experience. They give all the information.
Yes, but you have come up with great insights, and that were given to you by the Creator. So in Sufis get this. There's this anecdote from the Messenger which says, the Creator said, God said, I was a secret treasure. I loved to be known. I loved to be known and recognized. And that's why Sufis always say that the universe is created for love. So this is just like, putting up everything together. And when you look at the plants, when you talk to them in a beautiful way,
Yeah.
they react. When you look at the animals, when you love them, they all look for love. And even for human who doesn't have no belief, they want success. Why? To be loved.
Yeah, right.
Because that's how they're going to take attention, and they're going to be loved. So I think love is the key too. And we had this great interview, and you don't know how enlightening it is for us as Sufis. I'm talking, because you gave us so much other keys to the things that we work on. And thank you so much for this great interview. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful person, because not only as a scientist and a science researcher, I know you as a person, since because of these interviews, I got close with you to work on the questions and everything. And you are a person of love. And that's why may God bless you and all your beloved. And I hope that your theory reaches so many people, because I know that humanity is having lots of troubles and pain, and this is going to be a healing for so many souls. Thank you so much.
I hope so. And you know, I'm very thankful to you and your team, of course, too. It was really a great honor to be your guest, Denise, because you also have beautiful insights and beautiful wisdom, and I am also learning from you. So thank you again. I was very honored by this all. And of course, I wish you and your loved ones and your team and all the listeners as well blessings of light and love, and this time in the world also peace forever. And you know, final light-hearted remark for everyone: if it's your time to go, don't forget to look over your shoulder at planet Earth, because it seems to be very beautiful. So don't forget to look.
Yes. And thank you everyone for listening to us, and hope to meet you again. And inshallah, hope to meet Maureen once again, or twice again, or 3 times again with our great theories.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thank you, and all best wishes also for your mother, Denise. Bye-bye.